Okay, everybody, this is going to be about a 12-minute video at best. What you're doing, you're looking northbound on Mount Vernon, which goes up to the Cajon Pass on Route 66. But I'm going to show you perspective if you're heading southbound. So, and that's the San Bernardino Mountains in the background. But say, for instance, you just left the high desert Barstow area. You came down the Cajon Pass. You're going to start getting into the populated area of San Bernardino at this point on Mount Vernon. You start seeing some of the shops, some of the older motels are up there. As you come into San Bernardino on Mount Vernon, you're going to come to this intersection, which is 5th Street, and you're going to make a right and head into the Sunset. Make a right, and that is 5th Street. It's going to eventually turn into Foothill Boulevard, and that's going to be pretty much, Foothill Boulevard is going to take you to Colorado, that side of Los Angeles. But what's important to note is that once you come down the Cajon Pass and get into this area, it gets very congested as far as streetlights and stuff. You do have an option to take the 10, but that's not Route 66. Let me point out something. This is February 26th of 2022, and those are the cheapest gas prices you're going to see. That's weird. I'm looking at them with my regular eye and they're not flashing like that. I'm looking at it through the camera and they're flashing. I don't get it. But those are the lowest gas prices you're going to see here in California right now. And then once again, heading out to the Sunset. Now, if you do make a left here, you're going to be on business Route 66. So if you make a left and follow this direction of traffic, and I recommend that you do just for about a couple hundred feet, you're going to come up to this establishment here, which is, I'm going to get into it in a little bit, but it is Juan Pollo's Chicken. Heading this direction, you're going to be on Business Loop 66, and then you'll have to make a left on, I forgot the name of it, but it loops around this area, and that's where the McDonald's restaurant, McDonald's historic first McDonald's was, that I did a video of previously today. So what I want to show you here is, I would recommend coming in here for lunch. Once you come into the valley, before you make that strong right and head westbound, is to stop here for lunch. It's a really good place to eat. He used to have a Route 66 museum, but it's currently just all kind of boxed up right now. He's moving it to the McDonald's location. He's moving it to the McDonald's location of that historic McDonald's that I did. So he owns this whole storefront. As of February 26th, 2022, this is no longer, there's no museum in there anymore, unfortunately. And then that's showing you the museum that he owns. So he has this location, which is really good to eat, and he also has the museum, the historic, very first museum and he has Amboy, California is the, I've done a couple of videos in Amboy, the historic Route 66. It's in the high desert. It has an operational gas station. Amboy is probably the most historic, interesting spot to stop in all of California on all of Route 66. He owns the whole town, which consists of a few structures and a post office, operational gas station, and convenience store right there. Very popular stop. So put that on your list if you've never heard of Amboy and thought about it. One thing I will say, which was pretty exciting for me today, is that it's 2022, and I started really looking into Route 66 around 2014-15, and I found out about Amboy way back then. But one thing that was really cool today is that when I went to go eat here, he was behind the counter, and I got some pictures I'll put on my Facebook site. If you don't know my Facebook site, look under KLR USA Adventures. I think that's what it's under. Adventure VIN KLR 650 USA Adventures. But he was behind the counter, and I asked him, I go, are you Albert Okura? And he goes, yeah. And I go, do you mind if I take a picture of you? Take a picture with you. And he jumped around the counter, and he ended up, these are $10. but he ended up giving it to me because we got in a real good, cool. We probably talked for about 2 hours, no lie, and he signed it. He signed it to me. So let me show you that real quick. I know this is all reversed because I don't have it in. I have it in selfie mode, but it's all going to be backwards. So he actually signed it. I'll put my picture of he and I on Facebook, and we talked about his history on why and how he acquired the property. He started off like in the 70s working at Burger King, and then his brother-in-law wanted to go into business with him and open up another restaurant. At the same time, El Pollo Loco was opening up, and he opened up this location. He opened up this location and started finding out about Route 66. He didn't realize he was actually on Route 66, didn't know what Route 66 was about. So he was following his passion for the restaurant industry, opened this up, started finding out more about Route 66. Then he was reading the newspaper, and he saw that the original site that the brothers had owned before Ray Kroc went commercialized with it was up for sale, and he negotiated that price, bought that. That's the museum I had in my previous video today. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you do. And as he bought that, he started networking with people on Route 66, found out the whole entire town of Amboy was up for sale, and he ended up buying the town of Amboy, refurbishing them, and making it somewhat operational. This wasn't a planned YouTube day for me. I'm not on my KLR 650. I'm wearing my Route 66 shirt. I don't have my nice selfie stick or anything, so this is just me pointing and shooting with my Samsung. But I really wanted to capture this. It was an awesome experience. If any of you followed me in 2018, some of the experiences I've had with the restaurant owners, the motel owners, these mom and pop places were the best experiences ever. That looks like, that might be the Harvey House up in Barstow. And a lot of these people, what's cool about it, they pay tribute to other locations, other establishments, such as the Wigwam Motel. There's one here in San Bernardino, just down the road. You know, in the movie Cars, they called it the Cozy Cone, I think. Traffic cones where they stayed. So there's this Wigwam. I stayed at the Wigwam at Holbrook, Arizona. There's only two left. Apparently, hope this guy doesn't hit my car. He hit that car. That U-Haul just hit that car, that black car right there. Let me pause it real quick. So going back to it. So this is the Wigwam, and then here, and like I said, a lot of these places will have renditions of different places. So this is it. So you have a depiction of the Un Rialto. So there's the Wigwam there. Santa Monica is the end of the road. There's Roy's. He owns this location up in Roy's. Needles. So this is probably this portion of Southern California, and then this is the rendition of the McDonald's. So the McDonald's brothers opened up in 1948 in San Bernardino. That's one thing that's really cool, is that these smaller shops, they promote and they advertise and they educate about all different places on Route 66, you know, regardless if they know them or not. There's a lot of murals on a lot of buildings throughout Route 66, and some of them are very detailed, very descriptive, and it'd be hard. Like the one at the El Trovatore motel that I stayed at in 2018 has supposedly the longest mural of Route 66, the whole trip. But you'll find that. Take an opportunity and kind of like take a look at them, see what you might find interesting. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up. Once again, I'm gonna put some photos of me and Mr. Okura on my Facebook site. It was a real. I had 2 hours I was talking to him. He has the same type of personality that everyone else does that I've met on Route 66 that own these independent places. But enjoy, get out there, and I'm gonna show you this last shield. Here. Let me flip it around so you can get everything. So once again, this is historic. The museum is not in operation. I'm gonna go over here real quick. We had some snow in our San Bernardino mountains recently. That's the business loop heading eastbound, and then heading westbound. Let me get back out into the street. Heading westbound is that direction going into the sunset, and that's just street lights after street lights. Don't let that discourage you. There's some nuggets along the way. All right, like, subscribe, get out there, enjoy it. And if you're a Route 66 enthusiast, I would say that, you know, plan on stopping here for lunch. You won't regret it. If you get to meet Mr. Okura, that'd be an added bonus. Have a good day.